All right, moving on to number 12. Before we can solve this thing, what do we have to have? Thank you, equals 0. So how do I get this thing to equal 0? I'm sorry? Thank you, Kevin. Subtract 15. Subtract 15 from both sides. Did I get the wrong name? Who was that? Dakota. Sorry, Dakota. Minus 15 equals 0. Okay, once I've got that, I can once again go to the calculator. 2x squared plus 7x minus 15, and then go to my table. Now, I can see on my table that negative 5, 0 is going to be one of my answers. Okay, so I want to look for some more points and see if I can find a line of symmetry somewhere. Nope, no symmetry. But look at this. I do see that it was positive. It becomes negative. So he's got to cross the x-axis right here. I keep going down the table, and I still have negative y values. And all of a sudden, I have positive y values. What that tells me is that it has to cross somewhere between 1 and 2, because it went from negative to positive. Now, as far as what values to pick, I'm definitely going to pick the one that had the 0 on it, negative 5, 0. I'm also going to pick the two around it, negative 6, 15, and negative 4, negative 11. Now I also need the other ones. That other 0 happens over here at, well, negative 1, negative 6, and 2, 7. Sorry, 1, negative 6, and 2, 7. Those are the 5 points that are the most interesting for this thing. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, negative 6, 15, 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, negative 4, negative 11. I've also got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now this thing in all reality comes way down and then scoops back up. Now again, I don't know at this point exactly where it crosses over here, but I do know for sure that the answer is going to be, or one of the answers is going to be negative 5. So then how do I find this one? Does anybody remember what we did to come up with that? Oh yeah, that's right. We didn't get to finish that last class period. People were talking too much. Once we've got it in there, we can look at the graph. We can see, okay, you got negative 5, it crosses there, and somewhere between 1 and 2. Well, let's go to second, trace, and we go to option 2, which is 0. We're looking for the 0 or the x-intercept. Now, the one that we care about is finding this 0 here. It's asking me for the left bound, so I go to the left side of it and press enter. That's my left boundary line. I go to the right side of it and press enter, my right boundary line. And in the guess, I go pretty close to it, press enter again, and it tells me that happened at 1.50. So one of my answers is positive 1.5. Now, we want to check this by factoring. So let's take our equation, 2x squared plus 7x minus 15 equals 0. And we want to factor that. You might remember our first steps in factoring? I'm sorry? Yes, it's the 9-step program. What's the first step? A, B, and C. What's A? B? 7, and C? Negative 15. I'm hoping that by now you have done these things enough times that it's just becoming second nature. Then we've got to draw our box. What goes inside the box?
The top left corner goes 2.
2x squared, thank you, the full term. Bottom right, what do I do from there? Multiply them, give me negative 30. And now what am I looking for?
Factors of negative 30.
Which are?
1,
1, negative 30. 2, negative 15.
3, negative 10.
3, negative 10. 4, no, 5.
6.
5, negative 6. What else? Keep going. We're just counting up here. I'm sorry? 6, negative 5. Now we're just flipping the list over, right? Now we've repeated this one, so now we're just going to bring this one down. 10, negative 3. What's next? 15, negative 2. And then? 30, negative 1. All right, which one of these do I want? The ones that add to equal 7. Which set adds to equal 7? 10 and negative 3. So what goes in my top right box? 10x and, well, I'm sorry, what goes here? Not 3x, negative 3x. Now, I don't know if y'all could hear this in the video. One of my students said, whenever I first asked what goes in the top right corner, they said it doesn't matter. What they meant was, it doesn't matter what direction you flip these two things. I could have had the negative 3 here and the 10 there. It doesn't matter what order those things flip in. All right, now my greatest common factors. Greatest common factor of this first column. Okay, gives me a 1 and an x. How about between 10 and 15? 5. And is it positive or negative? Positive, because this one's positive, so that one's positive. This direction, greatest thing to go into 10x squared, 2x squared and 10x is 2x. And how about 3 and 15? Okay, 3, and why is it negative? Because the box next to it is negative. So my factors are x plus 5 times 2x minus 3 equals 0. Now, from here, we use our zero product property. X plus 5 equals 0, and 2x minus 3 equals 0. Here, what am I going to do? Not add 5 to both sides.
Oh, no, it's subtract 5.
Opposite. Thank you, Nicole. Subtract 5. X equals negative 5. And then here, add 3 to both sides. Gives me 2x equals 3. And then divide by 2. Gives me x equals 3 halves. And when I make 3 halves into a decimal, what does that give me? 1.5. Let's check it out. Negative 5, 1.5, 3 halves. Same thing. I did it right that time. No mistakes.